We're hearing a dire new warning about the dangers of the FCC's approval of the $8 billion merger between Paramount and Skydance Media. And it is coming from inside the agency. That deal follows months of tensions, including Paramount paying $16 million to Donald Trump to settle a lawsuit over a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. Trump also says he expects to get $20 million in advertising and PSA commitments. FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez, who was the only member of the three-person panel to vote against the merger, is now offering a blistering dissent, calling it capitulation over courage. FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez joins us now. I thank you for coming on the program. What is it about this deal that compelled you to put out a statement and use a phrase like capitulation over courage?
Thank you for having me. I have been alarmed by this administration's campaign of censorship and control, and we've seen that in a variety of ways throughout this administration. With regard to the FCC, what we are seeing is a weaponization of the FCC's regulatory authority to retaliate and to control the content of news media organizations. So in this transaction, what this administration was able to get was a condition that has never before seen control of editorial decisions in the newsroom content. And that is very problematic. Our First Amendment prohibits the government from interfering in freedom of the press, and that is a direct violation of our First Amendment freedoms.
We've seen the Trump administration exercise many pressure campaigns quite openly, pushing members of Congress to vote Donald Trump's way. He's used pressure against other countries in tariffs, in fact, in so many aspects of government. Did you see or feel that pressure firsthand during this process?
What we watched was really what I was afraid of, which was a backroom deal, that the companies were talking to the FCC as a regulator and nothing transparent for people to be able to see what was happening. That's why I'm glad that I succeeded in having the transaction brought before the full commission for a vote so that we could be transparent about what was happening.
You warn that it is the American public who will ultimately pay the price. How do you think this might impact people? And maybe they don't even realize it.
Going back to this administration's campaign of censorship and control, what they are doing is they want the news media to report on them in a positive light or in a light that they want. So they don't want the media to do their job, which is to hold government to account without fear or favor. And the public does suffer the consequences of that, because what you get is not the benefit of the hard-driving journalism that we want from our journalists, but rather simply an arm of the administration that is punished if it is not reporting in a way that this administration wants.
So let me lay all of this out. What Skydance agreed to do is to conduct a review of CBS's content and appoint an ombudsman to handle claims of bias. To which the FCC chairman said Americans no longer trust the legacy national news media to report fully, accurately, and fairly. And he was asked to respond directly to your statement. Over on our sister statement, CNBC, I want to play for you exactly what he said.
When Ana Gomez writes, you're imposing never-before-seen controls over newsroom decisions and editorial judgment in direct violation of the First Amendment, you say what?
I think it's time for a change, and the procedures that we put in place in this deal have lots of precedent. For instance, there's been ombudsmans put in place by the FCC before. We're putting a biased ombudsman in place here. We're addressing DEI. The prior FCC during the Biden years put pro-DEI commitments in different transactions, and so we're unwinding that type of approach. And we're frankly taking a trust but verify perspective here. I think this could go a long way to restoring America's trust in media.
He says there is precedent, but you say this is unprecedented. I'm wondering, for people who don't understand what the FCC role is and how they operate, is this outside the traditional bounds of how decisions would be made?
Well, let me just start by saying I think it's rich for this administration to talk about the distrust in media when it has spent the last 10 years sowing distrust in media, largely, again, because they are unhappy with the way that media reports about it. It is unprecedented. The Constitution prohibits the government from interfering in free speech and with the freedom of the press. The Communications Act, which is our authorizing statute, prohibits the FCC from censoring broadcasters. Imposing content restrictions, even as part of a transaction, is a violation of the First Amendment, and it is unprecedented. When the commission took action once before on an ombudsman, it did so in the context of having an ombudsman that would ensure that there was a separation between the corporate owners of a broadcaster and the news division. That is very different than imposing content-based conditions on what they call alleged bias, which to me translates to things we don't like.
Are you concerned that this will open some floodgates?
Absolutely. I am very concerned that this will lead to further capitulation by the cowardly corporate parents of news media organizations, because what they are doing is they are weaponizing the fact that we have to approve deals, transactions, transfers of broadcast licenses. And in order to get the final outcome of those transactions, these companies are basically ceding to this administration and getting rid of their principals in order to get their transactions completed.
Ana Gomez, I suggest to folks that they read your entire statement and consider carefully what you've had to say. We really appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you.
Thank you.